I'll be brief because really this is about your voices much more than it is about mine. First of all, welcome to Passaic County. Are y'all from North Jersey or Passaic County specifically?
They're from all over.
All over.
Who's from Passaic County besides me?
Anybody here?
Morning.
All right, that counts. We'll take it. We'll take it. Welcome back. We've got some great stuff. There's falls off the road. If you haven't seen it,
We're
gotta
headed there
check it
later.
out. Awesome. First of all, thank you for participating in UpNext North Jersey. You know, what we do at the level of NJTPA and the board and all of the various freeholders and other representatives that serve the northern part of our state on this board is to make decisions about what to invest in when it comes to infrastructure. And at the end of the day, we want to be investing in the things that we know are going to be most useful to people. So to have particularly the voices of all of you as the next generation talking about what are your expectations in terms of transit and travel. What are your expectations, frankly, in terms of, you know, the careers that you're all going to have? What's going to be the need for transit? And where is that going to fit into an increasingly mobile and also increasingly virtual kind of workspace that we all operate in? So that's why it's so important to have your voices here, because we're planning things way out in the future. You know, people like to talk about politicians in terms of the next election. Mine's in 2021. Come out and support or move to Passaic County in time to vote for me. But seriously, as somebody on the board of TPA, I'm voting on things that aren't going to happen after my next election, but after the election after that or after that. We literally, and Ted will tell you this, and you may even have seen it in the materials that you've seen, we recently adopted something called Plan 2045. I will be, well, never mind, but you will still be working in 2045, but the fact that we are even talking about a plan that far out tells you how important it is to have your voices in the room here at the very beginning of 2020. Because when we plan and design something now, it will take half a decade or more to actually get the road on the ground, the bridge across the river, the rails in place to make things happen. So the kind of advance notice, if you will, that we get from having your voices in the room and having you participating in this dialogue is incredibly important. In addition to welcome to Passaic County, welcome to Patterson. You're actually here at the Patterson Museum at the epicenter of one of our recent NJTPA studies, which was a study that Passaic County did with funding, federal funding through NJTPA, of the Great Falls area and the circulation study. As all of you know who just drove here, we're right by Route 19, which leads to Route 80, which leads to the Garden State Parkway. We're also the gateway to what we in Passaic County call Up County. I cross the bridge, go up the hill, and I'm in Wayne, which is the town where I live. Keep going up Hamburg Turnpike, and you hit Route 287. There's lots of trees, there's not so many buildings, there's lots of bears, it's beautiful. But all of that, in terms of getting there, comes through here. At the same time, this is a destination. People come here to the museum, they come to the art factory, they come certainly to the Great Falls National Park right up the hill, Hinchcliffe Stadium, one of the last two still standing Negro League baseball stadiums in the nation. So this is both a place you come to and a place you come through. And we had to figure out what to do about that because it's also a small 19th century grid of one-way streets. So it was a really fascinating process, and with federal funding, we were able to figure out some ways to make this place a place that is easier to get to and get through. And also to put Patterson, which is what's known as a labor surplus area, we've got more people than we have jobs, how to connect Patterson and its population to where the jobs are. So we are looking at things like bus rapid transit and rail to connect to Newark, repurposing freight rail tracks for commuter rail to connect Patterson to Hackensack, and then ultimately onwards to what some people call the Hudson-Bergen light rail. I like to call the Hudson-Bergen-Passaic light rail system. The fact that it hasn't reached Bergen County yet tells you a little bit more about time horizons and the way that we have to work on it. But all of those, whether you're talking about connecting Patterson to where the jobs are, whether you're talking about restoring downtown Passaic and using the notion of transit and walkable communities to create a downtown space that is both a walkable commercial space and a place where, for bus riders, it's a jumping off point to all kinds of destinations. Making those plans, putting them in place, is only doing anybody any good if that's what you're going to use. That's what your generation is going to use to connect to commerce, to connect to shopping, to connect to entertainment. So what you're doing through UpNext is so very important, and I want to thank you for being part of it. We've got a superb team that you're going to be working with here, and I wish I could stick around. I've got a lot of other obligations, but welcome again to Passaic County. Welcome to the Patterson Museum, and have a really great day. Thank you.
Thank you.